There's the fundamentals for success for sure that you need to follow in order to be successful, but everyone can do things differently that fits your lifestyle, your family, your business, and just works best for you to ultimately create that sustainability.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Rebel Show. I'm Brie Mesquit, and today I'm going to be covering the 13 fundamentals for success. So I was actually chatting with my husband not too long ago, and we were just going back and forth about how I feel like for the past year and a half, I've been really trying to fit other people's molds. I've been trying to exactly imitate what it is that they do, from their morning routines to the way they conduct business to the way they structure their schedules. And it's honestly been really, really difficult. And I could do it for a little while, but there wasn't sustainability. So I am so done playing by the rule book. I'm starting to realize there is no rule book. Again, there is fundamentals for sure. But now after being an entrepreneur for 8 years, I really feel it's like that whole thing I tell my students all the time with waxing. I'm like, you need to master the basics first and have the foundation before you can start breaking the rules. And I feel like I've really mastered what it takes to be successful. And now I need to structure and trust myself a little bit more that I've got this. I've been doing it. I didn't get here by accident. We didn't get here by accident. It's by being intentional, taking the right actionable steps, but the way I do it may look a little bit different than it does for others. So I'm giving myself permission and giving you permission, if you are looking for that, to play by your own rules. The number one and the first thing for fundamentals of becoming a successful person is clearly defining your goals. So the biggest takeaway from this is the clearly. You need to clearly define your goals and what success looks like to you. So maybe your goal is to have a fully booked out clientele. Now, what does that mean? So we need to get really specific too. So this is something I work on with my coaching clients is they often give me a goal, and that's great. I'm glad that they've been thinking of their goal and they know what they want, but it can tend to be really broad. So instead of saying, I want a fully booked clientele, what's that look like? How many days a week are you working? How many hours a day are you working? What's that income and that revenue look like for you? So I want you guys to get super specific and really work on clearly defining your goals. So what I like to do when defining my goals is to have the goal super specific, and then from there I can work backwards with actionable steps to actually make that goal a reality. We throw out these big dreams and big goals, but then we often can't get to them because we don't have any actionable steps. There's such a disconnect from here to here. So we need to bridge that gap and create those actionable steps. And it starts with getting super specific and having very clearly defined goals. So that's one of the fundamentals that you must have to become successful. Number two fundamental of a successful person is consistency. You guys, I have seen this play out now in my life for the past 1.5, 2 years, actually even before this, but we've gone really hard on this, is being consistent. I love to use the analogy of skincare because you guys will understand this. It's consistency over time is how you're going to see results. Same with waxing, right? Yeah, you might get some results from the first wax, but it's the consistency over time of waxing and keeping up with it that you're going to really get the really great measurable results, of the ones that others can see as well. So it's really important that we stay consistent. I know it's hard to stay consistent when you're not seeing results right away. So I need you guys to have that mindset shift of once I decide to do something, that's it. That's what I'm doing. And it's what's incredible. And I know I've used this analogy before. It's like the miner mining for diamonds, right? It's like a lot of time you never know when that breakthrough is coming. You never know when you're about to, that next axe or that next, what do they use? A pick or whatever, that next swing of the hammer is going to get you to the goal. So if you don't stay consistent, it's really hard to know and to achieve that. A lot of times people give up way too soon, which is exactly why I'm not big on New Year's resolutions. I think having intentions for the year, having a goal, having your actionable steps is amazing. Because when we do New Year's resolutions and we jump all in, it's hard to create that sustainability, aka that consistency, which is absolutely necessary for ultimate success. So stay consistent. Just once you decide you're going to do what you're going to do, then do it. All right. Number 3 is going to be discipline. So one of the things one word I hate is motivation, because motivation is so fleeting. Like, yes, motivation's great. When it comes, use it. It's fuel. Use it. I love when the motivation hits, but the motivation can quickly leave. So once we start anything new, like I know when I started my health and fitness journey, I was so motivated. I was super stoked. I went and got all the workout outfits, signed up for the gym, got all the Tupperware containers for meal prepping. We went to the store, we did all the things. But then even after like going grocery shopping, I'm like, wait, now I have to cook all this food. Like the motivation was completely gone. So creating that discipline, which is taking action consistently, so they go hand in hand together, that's when you create that discipline. And then eventually you really seek the results from the discipline. So even if you're not completely motivated anymore, you're in essence still somewhat motivated by the results that are on the other end, and you will start to feel those because of your consistency and discipline. Then okay, I feel a lot better when I go move my body for a little bit, or I'm eating healthier. And then you actually seek, and you are more motivated by those end results that you're going to get. Layla Hermosi has a saying that has gone pretty viral on the internet. People are tagging her constantly saying, and excuse my language, I usually try not to cuss on this podcast, but I'm saying someone else's words, so it doesn't count. Fuck your mood, follow the plan. And I can't tell you how many times I say that to myself in my head. This morning, my husband and I have been playing tag team because the kids are still on break at the time of this recording. So we've been having to switch off going to the gym. And today I knew I was going to be filming, and I needed to get up extra early in order to get that in before showing up here. I had to do hair, makeup, all the things that come with filming. And when I woke up, I was like, I don't want to do this right now. I don't feel like it at all. My bed is so nice and warm. And he's like, you're going to regret that. I'm like, I don't care. You shut up, be quiet. And then I'm like, he's so right. I am going to regret it. So I literally got up, went into the bathroom, started getting dressed, and got back into bed again. And I was like, no, I'm not going. This is it. You can go first. And then I was just sitting there. I'm like, this is not who you want to be. This isn't like, you need to take the steps that the person you want to become would take. And that is a disciplined person. So I was like, all right, I'm getting up. And guess what? Had probably one of the best workouts that I've had in a while. Feel great. More mental clarity, able to show up, film these episodes for you guys. And discipline is key, and it's something that I will never allow myself to lose again. Hey there, I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. For those of you who are already using and loving Rebel Wax in your treatment room, I wanted to provide you with the opportunity to save an additional 10% on top of the 10% we already give for our subscribe and save customers. If you would like to never worry about inventory issues again, then head to our website, lashandwaxoc.com. Use the code THEREBELSHOW, all one word, to save an additional 10% off for a total of 20% off your first subscribe and save. Now back to the show. Number 4 is resilience. This is something that I feel like resilience can be more forced on us when especially for those who have had just tough cards dealt. It's that like sink or swim, right? Or yeah, sink or swim. I was like, is there another option? No, I don't think there's another option. You either sink or swim. So resilience can feel like something that's forced on us. But how do we gain resilience? It's from being able to adapt when those hard times come, when those obstacles come up, because they're going to, you guys, and some more extreme than others. But being able to adapt, and then also learn from failure. So I covered this in many other podcast episodes. Failure is not failure unless you allow it for you to quit. It's all your mindset on the situation. So it's like every situation, every circumstance that we ever experience is there to teach a lesson. So if you're able to look back, you're able to audit that, say, what can I learn from this? What part did I play in it? What part was out of my control? How can I adapt? It's going to better equip you in the future. But successful people are definitely resilient. Number 5 is self-belief. I think this one is so important. And again, something I'm working on this year by trusting myself and my intuition and my way of doing things, the way I want to structure my days and structure my schedule, structure my business, lead my team. Having that self-belief is really important. Also self-awareness though, because there are areas that we need to be able to be all the belief in the world. If I go and I tell myself, you know what, I'm going to go win a gold medal for vaulting. Is that even what's vaulting? I don't know why that came to mind. I think you jump over the hurdles or something. Yeah, your girl definitely is not getting a gold medal in that. So I can sit here and believe it all that I want, but like that's not the reality. I would need to hire a coach and start training and like, could it happen? Yes, of course. But you need to have that self-awareness at the same time. So, but where you guys are excelling, where your strong suits are, like have that belief. If you have a fire in your belly to start your own business, to do your own thing, go with that. The self-doubt can really, really keep you stagnant and hold you back from pursuing your dreams and goals. So self-belief is really important. So how can we work on our self-belief? I would definitely say positive self-talk. So my nutrition coach and fitness coach that I'm working with right now, Snez, she's awesome. We'll post her in the description below. I have daily things that I need to do. And one of them is personal affirmation. That's the word I was looking for. So she calls it personal affirmation. So positive self-talk. So every day I write in all caps my personal affirmation, which right now is I am capable. So having that positive self-talk, it's really going to help with your self-belief. And then also celebrating the small wins. Like my husband and I celebrate everything. And this doesn't have to be spending a lot of money, doesn't have to be with food and going getting ice cream and doing things that are now going to work against your goals if that is health. And obviously this is top of mind for me right now. And I feel like it is for a lot of you too, because I'm having people reach out a lot now that you guys have seen some of the results from the past year and a half. People are reaching out and asking me how I did it. So I know a lot of you have the goals of getting healthy this year. And anyway, so don't allow your little mini celebration. Celebrate everything, you guys, but don't allow it to actually be detrimental to achieving your goals, because then that's just like super counterproductive and not what we're going for. But celebrate your small wins. All right, number 6 of a successful person is going to be having a growth mindset. I can't tell you how many times I can see it in people when we're talking and I tell them, and I've really learned though to edit my conversations with certain people. But in the past, in my past experience of talking with people, and maybe I'm sharing my goals or they're sharing with me what their goals are. And then I'm the type, if you tell me your goal, I'm like, all right, cool. How is this going to become reality? Here's the steps you need to take. Here's a person I can put you in contact with. Here's a resource that I need to watch myself on this. Sometimes it can be a lot because I'm like, you tell me that, I believe in you. I know it's possible. I've seen it. So I just get really, really excited. But I've seen then when I start saying, okay, well, how about doing this? Or here's an idea. They're like, well, it's not going to work because of this reason. And it can't work for this reason and can't work for this reason. And there's people who look for all the reasons why it won't work or can't work, rather than someone else who has a growth mindset looking at all the reasons why it can work. Or maybe, sure, this is an obstacle, but I'm going to be a problem solver. I can reach out to my resources. I can start, like, they have that growth mindset of like everything's figure outable, rather than just doomsday people of there's a list of reasons why it can't work. And it really can be as simple as that, to be between being unsuccessful and not reaching your goals and becoming a successful person is just having that growth mindset and being willing to do the hard things that other people aren't willing to do, which is like 90 something % of the population. So just that action of, okay, here's a hurdle, I'm going to overcome it. Like you're already in the top, like 5-10%. So it's easier to be success. It's easier than you would think. It really is. It's not easy. It's simple, not easy. I think that's what I'm looking for. It's simple. It's not always easy, but there's never a better time than now. The resources that we have at our fingertips at all times, it almost though can be harder with all that information too, because it's like, where do I start? Okay, I got off topic. So anyways, having a growth mindset, super important. If you don't know how to do that and how to start to change your mindset, listening to podcasts like this one, there's plenty of others. I would recommend my coach Bedros. Love him. He's definitely very like militant, I would say, almost in a way. So find your person. But what I found, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, okay? The reason why it seems like so many people are copying each other and copying each other's content and copying, it's because it's the same message, because that's what it takes to reach the level of success that these people have reached. It's the same message. I'm even preaching the same message to you guys right now. It's just the delivery. In the way it's packaged and delivered is going to be different and authentic to each individual person. But they're not just trying to be a cookie cutter of someone else and be a copycatter. These literally are the fundamentals of becoming successful. So once they discover that, and then beyond discovering it, have lived it like I have, and I know I still have a long ways to go, but I'm also really proud of how far we've come. Once you discover that, it's like you discover this secret and you want to share it with everybody. So just be mindful of being too judgmental of, oh, they're just saying exactly what so-and-so says over there. Yeah, maybe you should take notes because there's something to it. They found a gem, they found a secret, and they're sharing it with you. So success leaves clues. Have a growth mindset, and you're going to be doing just fine. All right. Number 7 is having a strong work ethic. So being willing to put in the hard work day in and day out. So again, this really does kind of go hand in hand with that consistency, because you need to have a strong work ethic. And with that, it's having that strong work ethic every single day. So some days though, you're going to move the needle forward a lot. Some days it might be just a little bit. And guess what? There's also going to be days when it feels like the needle you're moving backwards. But you just need to stay consistent and keep working and keep pushing forward. Oftentimes you can beat your competition just simply by outworking them. And that's one thing that I've really have prided myself on, is like, I don't think there's not a lot of people who can outwork me. Now, also with that, I am learning when it's time to pump the brakes a little bit, and there's time to rest as well. Sometimes that those moments of rest can actually be the hard work in itself, especially for someone like me who tends to be a workaholic, I guess you could call me. Those times of rest they have to be very intentional, because they're actually hard for me. And I know that sounds crazy for those who can't relate to that, but that is my reality, which is why I'm restructuring my year to follow nature's like natural cycles. And during winter, I'm really spending my time resting and reflecting. I'm kind of breaking things down right now to rebuild a foundation in order to be able to build stronger upon that foundation so it doesn't break again in the future. But anyways, having a strong work ethic is going to be, wait, is that where I was at? The next one is focus and priority. Okay, I need to work on number 8. That is what I was talking about. Squirrel moment. All right. Strong work ethic. Important. All right. Number 8. Obviously, I need to be working on this one. Focus and prioritization. Oh my goodness. That's a tongue twister for me again. A couple of the other episodes I've filmed today, I was talking about folliculitis. Now I'm saying it perfectly, but it took quite some time to get that down. So another tongue twister. Prioritization. Prioritization. Anyways, focus and prioritization. I actually just posted a reel about this this morning while I was at the gym in between sets. I'm like, okay, now I'll make the caption. Okay, now do my okay, now I'm going to post or write the caption, or I just said that. Okay, focus. Okay. Number 8, focus. Okay, let's talk some actionable steps for focus though, because this is obviously one that I can really struggle with. So when I sit down to do a task, I try really, really hard to have my phone away from me or notifications turned off and like really prioritize. Actually, one of the ways that I do this is planning the night before. So it's called, my coach calls this his GSD list. So get shit done list. So at night when I'm laying in bed, that's when all the things, oh, I didn't get this done. I need to do this tomorrow. Da, da, da. I write it down. I put it in my calendar as it says GSD in my calendar. And then I start writing out all the things I need to do tomorrow. That gets it off of, like, it's a weight lifted. I know it's written down. I know I'm going to attack it tomorrow, and then it also helps me prioritize. So then I'll prioritize it. I just put an exclamation point. I'll put 1 next to the first one or the last. So I work backwards actually. So I'll prioritize it and then say I have 5 things on my list. The one with the 5 exclamation marks, that's the one I'm going to do first, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. So really prioritizing. So that's something when things come to your mind, start writing them down. That's something that's been really huge for me, so that when I sit down, I can have a little bit better focus. I have some prioritization. I know what I need to start with first, and then I don't stop until that task is done. Still working on this, obviously. All right. Number 9 is going to be effective communication. Now, this does not come easily for most, and it's something that my husband and I are really, really actively working on. I hopefully will have better resources for you in the future once I work through this more myself, but it's really, really important. It's really important for building strong relationships, whether that's with your clients, once you start hiring, so with your team members, with family, with friends, with your kids, with your spouse. Like, effective communication is really, really important. So one of the things that we're really actively working on is responding rather than reacting. So taking a quick, count to 3, 5 in your head. I know it sounds cliche, but it's because it works. Usually the things that are cliche is because they're true. So I'll kind of like count and just work on responding versus reacting, and then planning ahead a little bit. So if I'm going to have a team meeting or something, instead of just jumping on and winging it, I'll work on, okay, if the meeting's going to be an hour, I'm going to sit down for at least 15, 20 minutes and kind of map it out. And then it helps me to better effectively communicate, even like doing these podcasts and stuff, having my notes and everything. Then it's going to help me to better relay my message to you guys, because I know there's value in the information that I want to share. Also, with effectively communicating comes being an active listener. This is so important. It's not all about what's coming out of our mouth. It's also about what we're receiving. People want to be heard. So if you're just sitting there and they're talking and you're just thinking the whole time of how you're going to respond or what you want to say next, that's not active listening. There's not going to be effective communication. There's not going to be that relational building. They're not going to feel heard or understood. You're not going to feel heard or understood. It's just this battle, this tug of war. So active listening is also super important when it comes to effective communication as well. And that's something that we don't always think about. All right, number 10 is taking action. It is so incredibly important to actually take action. You cannot be an information gatherer only. Those who take action on the information they're receiving are the ones who are going to get the results that they're seeking. It's so important. A lot of times, coming to my workshops or me going to these events that I'm going to, there can be a lot of information. So what I force myself to do is I write down 2 or 3 actionable steps that I'm going to take. And it's so nice with being in business with my husband, because he can be, I don't love the whole accountability partner thing, because it's like, you're not going to be there at 6 a.m. to get me. Are you going to come and dress me and like drive me to the gym? No, like I need to be accountable to myself first. But having someone who, well, I guess that kind of helps that he's my spouse, because he's laying in bed telling me, you're going to regret this. So I guess but most of you choose like a girlfriend or something. No, I'm just kidding. You could definitely have your spouse as an accountability partner. But at the end of the day, it is up to you to actually take action on these things. So it is really nice that I'm in business with my husband, because after I attend events like this, I will call him, or if we attended together, I'm like, all right, like right when we get in the car, or if we go have lunch or dinner after the event or whatever. Especially if I bring my team along with me, I always ask, all right, what are the 2 to 3 actionable steps you're going to take from what we learned? Because if you try to implement it all, we get like that analysis paralysis, and then you end up doing nothing because it's just like extremely overwhelming. This is why I also love, reading like books multiple times, because each time you read it, you might take a different actionable step from it. So just really work on not being an informational gather only. And I know you guys have heard me say this before, and it's something I learned from my coach. It's what he calls tactical avoidance. So like a great example of this would be like, say you're starting your business, but all you're working on is like you edit your business card like 20 times. So then you end up spending like 8 hours on a business card. It's like, yes, great, you need that business card, but like, you don't need to spend all that time perfecting the logo, perfecting the placement of the name. Like that's not going to bring in clients. You need to be telling people about your stuff, advertising, marketing. Like there's other things to get done. But a lot of times we feel like just because we're checking things off the list that we are moving closer to our goal, but sometimes we're tactically avoiding the real things that will promote change and push you closer to your goal. I hope I am getting that across in the way that I want to, but that's something that I see all the time, is that tactical avoidance and just really like working on the wrong things because it's the easy task, and it makes you feel, it gives you that dopamine hit of, well, I get to put a check mark now, but it's like, was that it, again, going back to prioritizing though, was that the main priority and what you needed to be focusing on this time to get to the next level? And that's one thing. When I first opened my business, and I think why I was so successful so quickly with building my clientele was because I focused on the main thing and kept the main thing. And then I did all the fluff work after. So I had everything that was super important. I had the treatment room, I had the supplies, I had the online booking system, I had a way to take payment. And then I started advertising like crazy and telling everyone about my product. And then from there, after I started getting clients and income coming in, then I made the nice logo. I even changed my business name. I didn't spend hours on my business name. I actually was the Wax Pot originally with 2 X's. I thought I was being super cool and unique. And then was like, this isn't clear. I'm Lash and Wax OC it is. So, and then the rest is kind of history from there. But then I made all those adjustments and changes and did all the, like, more of the fun work after I started getting some money coming in. So prioritizing and then making sure that you're taking action on the right things though. Super important. Also, last thing I'm going to be saying about taking action is not waiting for that perfect timing, because there's never perfect timing. We're always going to be able to find an excuse or a reason why we can't. And I want you guys to start looking at all the reasons why you can. Number 11 is having faith and trust in the process. So I know, especially, I would say probably more hairstylists would probably get this. Like the first thing that popped in mind is like going blonde. You'd have to trust that process, right? Ashley's nodding her head like, yep, because she's a hairstylist, actually, if you guys didn't know this. But anyways, taking someone blonde, having dark hair like mine, man, it's going to be a process, and you got to trust it. Also, another thing that comes to mind is microblading or powder ombre brows. So I actually got my brows tattooed, and they get really, really dark. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is not what I want. Actually, I knew what the process was going to be, but you do have that moment of like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. These are so dark. And then they fade, and then you feel like you lose them. Oh my God, they disappeared. I just wasted my money. And then they all of a sudden, I don't know how it works, but they appear and they look amazing and beautiful. So trusting the process is super important, and also enjoying the journey, because oftentimes what you'll, and I repeated this in my last podcast that actually just launched, but it's important. It's important to really ingrain this and know this and live by it. It's like you need to enjoy the journey too, because oftentimes once we hit that goal, we have this like rush and we're like, yes, this is amazing. And then it's like, we kind of enjoy the chase, I would say. I think we really enjoy the chase, because once you hit it, you're like, now what? And then you just create another goal to get after, which is awesome. And that's what I think we should be doing. I think it's really healthy and important to always be striving towards something, but also being content and grateful and enjoying the journey. That's one thing my husband and my husband and I were just talking about this. I'm so proud of us for this, is at every step. We've been married for 10 years now. So it's like, it's a decent chunk of time, and we're still pretty young, but we've gone through a lot. I feel like we've lived multiple lifetimes, but we have been so grateful in every single stage, even with the end goal in mind. Always, we didn't allow us not being at that end goal to make us dissatisfied in the now. We know those things are going to happen, and we know there's one day that we're going to be there, and then we'll look back and miss the moments that we're currently in. So don't miss the moments you're in, because they're never going to happen again. When we moved into our fifth wheel trailer, we were stoked. We painted it, we decorated it pirate beach theme. Like, we were stoked. We freaking loved that trailer. We felt like we found like the golden ticket to be living in we found a golden ticket to be living in Newport Beach on the water. It's like, but we were in a trailer. So what? Some people could have the mindset, and this goes back to the growth mindset of being like, oh, we're in a trailer. This sucks. It's so small. It's like, we were so pumped. We were so stoked. And then from there, we moved into a townhouse, and we're like, this is it. We have made it. This is freaking awesome. There's stairs. We have stairs in this place. It's like real walls, real floors. My funny story, my daughter, my kids didn't know how to flush an actual toilet. They were looking for the foot pedal because they were potty trained in a trailer toilet. So they were looking for the foot pedal. And we're like, no, it's right here on a handle. So I just found that to be kind of funny. But once we were in the townhouse, we were freaking pumped. And then that quickly, like, it became something towards the end of that journey where we're like, this is terrible. We need to get out of here. There's a lot of stories behind why that is, but we were pumped. We loved it. We enjoyed that stage. And then we moved to Oregon and bought a home. Like, holy crap. We never would have thought that was like, well, we did. That was one of our goals we had, but to actually see it like happen and become a reality, we really didn't think it would become a reality for us for a long time, because we were living in California. It's very expensive. So when we made that move, we were super pumped. And then now, fast forward, now we're in our second home. We own 2 homes up here in Oregon. We have this it's freaking insane. And I know there will even come a point, maybe in our 40s, maybe 50s. I don't know. I'm just trusting the timeline. I'm cool with things happen when they're supposed to happen. But I know there will even be a point, and some may think this is crazy, because depending in your journey, where you're at in your journey, but I'll look back on this and be like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I can't believe that warehouse we were in, or that salon we were in. Like, so just enjoy the journey, trust the process. You guys have gratitude, have those goals, have those ambitions. They're important, they're needed, but also trust, or not just trust, but have gratitude in the process. Trust the process, but have gratitude and enjoy every moment. Enjoy who you are, who you're becoming. Enjoy the journey. Don't constantly just feel like I don't have enough, because if living here, the majority of us now, definitely, okay, I'm going in a whole different direction, but the majority of us definitely are super blessed, okay? If you go and visit other countries and stuff and see how some have to we're incredibly blessed. We have a lot of opportunity right in front of us. So having faith and trusting in the process, super important. Number 12 is surrounding yourself with the right people. Okay, if you guys listen to my other podcast episode, 13, things to stop doing in 2025, then a lot of this is going to sound super familiar, but it's because this stuff works, you guys. It works. But I was talking about you are the sum of the top 5 people that you surround yourself with. Okay, can I share your gym meal prep thing? Okay, this is so cool. So Ashley comes in. She's behind the camera in case you didn't know that. And she has her meal prep. Chance and I had our meal prep. She just signed up for the gym. And I'm like, this is super cool. I feel like we influenced, and I know you took action on this yourself as well. But I was like, we like had a positive influence. And the old Chance and Bree definitely didn't always have positive influences on people. But we spend a lot of time together now, and it's like we're all kind of you become like the people that you spend time around. So that's why Chance and I have actively been really working on getting in new rooms, having new groups that we're spending time with, and spending time with the people who have achieved or are on their way to achieving what it is that we want to achieve as well. Who you spend your time with is really, really important. So spending it with the right people is crucial. It is crucial to your success. And like I said on the other episode, it is also includes your online or virtual. That's the word I was looking for. It includes your virtual circle as well. Okay. So it's really important. Look, I want you guys to sit down and write down the top 5 people that you spend your time around. And then just look at their life and ask yourself, if I became each one of these people, would I be satisfied? Would I feel like I reached my fullest potential? And the answer could be yes, and that's totally fine. We aren't all put on this earth to be freaking Elon Musk or I don't know who else, Steve Jobs or Bezos. Like we're not all, that isn't success for everyone. Success comes in so many different forms. So defining that for yourself, it could be being very, what's it called? Having a very like conservative lifestyle. You don't have to have the mansions and all the fancy cars, but you might have time freedom and freedom to spend and make memories with your family. That's success. Like, so defining success for yourself is going to be really important too. Okay. So you might look at that group and the answer might be yes. So maybe no changes are needed. But if the answer is no, and you again have that fire in your belly, you know you were just meant for more, you want to achieve more, you have not reached your fullest potential, then I'm going to really encourage you and challenge you really to edit and audit that list. And maybe you need to reduce some time with some of those people. Yeah. All right. That's that. It's really important who you're spending time with the right people. All right. Last one, number 13, continuous reflection and adjustment. So this again is what we're really working on. December through February, I am committed to this. I am committing to reflecting on this past year. Even beyond that, we've been in business for ourselves now for 8 years, and I think it's really time to stop continuing to try to build new, build bigger, build better, and it's time to rebuild the foundation. There's a saying I posted on my Instagram recently of you can't shoot a cannon from a canoe, meaning when you go to shoot that cannon, it's very unstable, right? A canoe is going to be much more unstable than, I don't know, a freaking yacht or something. Canoe, yacht. I don't know. I would rather be shooting a cannon from a yacht. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a yacht. A barge. Let's say a barge. That's what we're going to go with. Canoe or barge? Yeah, I feel a barge is just like, it's not as bougie and it's like, I don't know, it's strong. It's ready. It has solid foundation. So anyways, the whole point of this is it is really important to have those moments of just rest, reflection, and then adjusting those. So, okay, great. We look, for me recently, okay, I have been stalled on my weight loss for, I think I looked back and it was like since August. Like it's been a minute. And no, I'm fine with that because this is a journey. Okay. I've lost 70 pounds, 75 pounds already. And I have like 10 to 15 more to go, but I've been stagnant. I've hit a plateau, and then I had to reflect and look and be like, okay, well, you're not on it with your meals, Brie. Okay. Like I've allowed myself to just kind of splurge here and there, but the here and there became more and more and more often. I'm like, okay, how bad do you want it? What's your goal? I really want to get to my goal weight. It's been... So in 2-3 months, it will have been 2 years since I started, and I definitely could have been to that goal by now. But also at the same time, I have really created the discipline and the consistency, but it's time to make this adjustment and get more disciplined and consistent when it comes to my nutrition, because it plays so many more roles than just the aesthetics again and getting to that goal weight. I can feel myself, how I respond versus react with my kids, the patients I have, even my like mental clarity and just like feeling better, having more energy, sleeping better, showing up better here at work for my family. It's time for me to get back on track with my nutrition. So that's having that self-awareness, that's having that reflection, and then finding what needs to be fine-tuned, finding what needs to be adjusted, and then taking action on it. So just finding out these things, but then not taking action on it, then you're never going to get the results. So personally, that's just what I need to be working on right now. And then it's important too, though, to be adaptable, because we can do really well when circumstances are perfect, right? But then that's just not how life is. Whether you're a mom, you know that life definitely isn't like that. Business owner, you know life isn't like that. If you are a living, breathing human being, then you know that things can be thrown at you from any direction at any time, and it's really important to be adaptable to those changing circumstances as well. So that's another part of this reflection and adjustment, being willing to adjust as new circumstances arise. So really important. All right, so the actionable step with that is, I would say, I would challenge you to schedule like periodic times to really go back over your goals and look backwards. So I love quarterly. I think quarterly is awesome. Maybe doing little mini, like Chance and I will do mini monthly like meetings, 30 minutes even together, because we're together talking about this stuff all the time anyways, but like intentional 30-minute blocks monthly, but then quarterly we'll spend about an hour and a half meeting. And then our yearly, which we just completed, we locked ourselves here in the conference room for 4 hours, and we went through strategically everything, both looking back, making the adjustments, and then writing the actionable steps for going forward. So super important that you are doing that periodically. So if you don't know where to start with that, then I would recommend quarterly. That's a great place to start. And then again, adjust as needed. You see what I did there? All right, guys. Thank you for listening. I know this was a long one. I know this kind of stuff. I have to be honest. These ones don't always perform the best when I'm given like the kind of the tough love stuff. But the few of you guys who listen to this, and then beyond the listening to this, you listen to it all the way through, and then you take action on it. Oh my gosh, I'm excited for what your 2025 is going to look like. You're the winners. You're the ones who are going to be getting the results. You're going to be the ones getting closer and closer to your goals. And you're going to be the ones that people ask you, that were the doubters. They're going to ask you one day how you did it. So then you could tell them, listen to this episode, and breaks it down exactly how to do it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, turn on notifications. If you guys are on a podcast platform listening to this, a review would mean the world to me. I would super appreciate that. And make sure to tune in next week. See you guys then.